Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic:
Fast food workers, what menu item should everyone avoid from where you work? The ice machine. They don't get cleaned as often as you'd hope. I briefly worked as a sales representative for an ice machine company, and more often than not they are fucking filthy. The problem is no one wants pay for it to be cleaned, let alone clean it themselves. Convenience store owners are much better about keeping regular maintenance on their machines because the amount of usage is so much higher than just about anywhere else. Also beer lines at some bars. At Dunkin', I'd say everything is fine except frozen drinks made with the old Island Oasis machine. My store now has a Vitamix blender, but the old machine was never cleaned well enough. Donuts suck there now. IDK what happened in the last 5 years, but they taste like crap now. And they are nowhere near what they used to be. No jelly, no cream, crappy donut taste. They're not fresh anymore. They get made off-site and trucked in. I have an aunt who manages a Dunkin', and I asked her why the donuts are terrible. It's because they are frozen and not made fresh. If you have peanut allergies, don't get drinks from Sonic. They do not care about cross-contamination at all. I always say to avoid the shakes because lazy employees use the plastic dome lids during mixing and that get plastic in the shake. Sonic was my first job, and we had to use the dome lids when mixing shakes and blasts. I hated it, because the plastic is so thin and flimsy and it would often break and get mixed into the shake, and then of course we would remake them. IMO, Sonic's policy for basically everything is completely outdated and needs tons of work. If you go to a McDonald's that has a shake machine that is always working, don't get a shake there. If you go to one that is always broken, it's perfectly safe to get a shake there. The reason the machine is down so often is because it has a really long cleaning cycle that needs to be done frequently. We always ran our cleaning cycle at night. But we weren't a 24-hour store. Do 24 hours still exist? I haven't seen one since COVID. Edit. Thank you everyone for your input. I'm now very hungry. I used to work at a Froyo shop. If you see a topping and think, I've never thought of that being a topping for Froyo, you probably aren't alone. Things like Fruity Pebbles were just put back out every morning, getting older and older because no one ate them. Fruity Pebbles on vanilla ice cream is so good, I will just buy my own from the grocery store, though. Fuck a Froyo shop. Bro, WTF, the Pebbles are quite literally the greatest topping when you're pricing by weight. I could fill a whole cup with them and it'd probably cost 5 cents more than an empty cup. They don't have them anymore, but when I worked at Arby's, the barbecue was the one thing I would never eat. That sauce would sometimes be 2 months old, I'm not kidding. Whenever I handed an order to a customer who ordered one, I would say, here you go. Not, enjoy your food. Quote, I went to Arby's once and asked for a lemonade for my drink, and the lady on the speaker was begging me to not get the lemonade and told me it was nasty. I still wonder to this day how nasty it was for them to tell me not to order it, loudly crying. Man, when they say not all heroes wear capes, they're referring to that Arby's queen. I worked in a lower-level management position at an Arby's many years ago. Saw an employee cut their fingertip off down to the bone on the beef slicer during a dinner rush. Instead of stopping the line and doing a full disassemble and sanitize of the slicer, the GM just wiped up the blood and threw out the beef that had gotten blood on it and continued having us serve it. We found a piece of the fingertip with the nail still attached, wedged between the blade and the faceplate when we tore the slicer down at the end of the night. I reported the GM to the DO, cameras were checked. She got verbally reprimanded, I quit. As someone who has tried to find the motivation to start a diet recently, this thread is perfect. Thank you, good Reddit. S-Bucks barista here, do not get any iced oleato drinks. It just doesn't work, and olive oil in coffee was already a big stretch. The hot latte is actually not too bad and tastes a little bit like Cheerios, but the oil almost instantly separates from the rest of the drink when it's iced, which is no bueno. I was given a sample of one of the oleato drinks, and the weird combo had a strange, woody aftertaste. Are people really ordering enough of these drinks for them to have been on the menu for so long? Question mark. I have never ordered one because I don't, want to drink a laxative, but even in Italy olive oil in coffee isn't that common. Why would they create a line of drinks that remind people of Olestra and the resulting anal leakage? Question mark. I left Starbucks early this year and we hadn't sold one in 2.5 months, no one ever ordered it. I worked at Chuck E. Cheese years ago, and while the pizza was good and safe, it's pretty tough to screw up pizza, but the salad bar would be a pass. Adults and kids would just toss the tongs and spoons all over the salad bar, letting the handles fall into the food, getting all the different vegetables and dressings mixed together. All this at one of the grossest places on earth, where they are putting their hands all over video games, the ball pit, pizza, and around again. At the end of the night, then we would flip all of the salad bar vegetables over into fresh containers and top them off for the next day. They did get thrown out every few days. If employees ever made ourselves a salad, we would make it from the ingredients in the fridge that were not yet out on the bacteria bar. Just the thought of a salad bar at a place like Chuck E. Cheese is enough to make me gag. I don't work in fast food, but I have a buddy who fixes and services fountain soda machines. Never ever drink fountain soda. The hoses that the syrup runs through are never cleaned and rarely changed. He says they are stained and or have mold. My buddy says the insides of fountain soda machines are usually disgusting. My daughter worked on beer tap equipment for a while and it could get really rank. Some states require lines to be serviced by a third party and recorded for the health department checks to retain their liquor or beer license. Frankly, everywhere should, because that's disgusting and a major safety hazard. When I was 16, I worked at Taco Bell and I didn't even know those things were supposed to be cleaned because I never once was told to or saw somebody else clean it. The tubes, the ice, the whole machine, literally no part of it was cleaned even once. That's how you get the Baja to blast. Worked Circle K for 3 years. Coffee is surprisingly good and machines were well maintained, but the cappuccino, iced coffee machine was disgusting and impossible to clean despite best efforts. Lots of tiny parts where powdered drink mix could sit and rot. My location was next to a university and we had a regular who was an engineering professor. Once he came in and watched while I was trying to clean the cappuccino machine, and said he should use it in class as an example of poor design. Can confirm that was one of the worst parts of the job, as someone who is a little obsessive about cleaning. I was a manager and they often had me go to neighboring locations to clean up the store because of how clean my location was. So glad I don't work there anymore. Don't be an overachiever, y'all. They'll make you clean everybody's cap machines. Sneezing face. I worked at Jimmy John's for almost 7 years and they are obsessive about keeping things clean, to the point they go through a 8-ish page packet of cleaning lists each day, and all food items are super fresh and labeled to be used within 24 to 72 hours. The only thing I would not eat from there is the bacon because it comes cold and it's just kind of unpleasant, lol. I run a JJ. My tablet makes me sign off on everything being clean. It's a huge hassle, but at least I know it's getting done. Especially the ice machine, which everyone keeps commenting about. There's also the projections that no other restaurant I've worked at has in order to make sure we make only what we need that day. It's actually really clean, especially for a fast food restaurant. I actually love Jimmy John's because it's always clean, the food looks and tastes good every single time, and it's probably the only chain food place that I actually, honestly, believe when they say things are fresh and everything is being done above board. It might be a hassle for you to make sure everything is up to standard, but please know your work is hugely appreciated by hungry gals like me who are sick of being lied to by fast food places. JJ's food is just as good as if I made it myself at home, period. I'm sure your customers would definitely tell you this if they had a chance. Former Disney CM here. I worked in foods for the last 1.5 years I was there. I can honestly say that you should be comfortable eating or drinking anything from the parks. Obviously, it's not health food, but from a food safety perspective, Disney is super diligent. Ice machines are cleaned regularly, at least once a week. Same with beer tap and soda lines, they are flushed weekly. Of course, things occasionally happen, and something can go wrong, but as soon as it's noticed, it's addressed. There have been times when items have been pulled from every location because there was an issue with a single item at a different location in another park. Disney can't afford a hit to its reputation, so they don't take chances. Given what they charge, they better not be cutting corners. Right, better be the sweetest and freshest fountain soda of my life. My godmother has a ton of intolerances and allergies, and says Disney is the safest place you can eat. If you mention having an allergy, they often have a chef come out to discuss the menu in detail. She once got a mushroom gravy, mildly allergic to those, when she ordered a different one, and the chef was so apologetic you'd think she threatened his life. According to someone she talked to, that incident goes on his record as having nearly killed someone. I visited Disney World with a food allergic child, and the chefs did come out to consult and try to adapt the dish he wanted into a dish he could eat. Nothing but praise for them. Unrelated to this thread, but man, Disney does a great job with allergies. I have a pretty nasty shellfish allergy and they take it seriously. During one visit to Animal Kingdom, we were eating at an Asian restaurant. My shellfish allergy was listed. I ordered what I thought was safe, and when the chef came out for his allergy chat, he informed me that nothing was safe there for my allergy. But he talked to me about flavors I liked and whipped something up that wasn't on the menu at all and was pretty delicious. We pay a ton when we go there, and I appreciate that on our visits. I always feel like they appreciate the money we are spending. Removed. My family once went to Burger King for lunch and my grandpa ordered a decaf. They told him they'd have to brew a fresh pot, so he didn't get it for like 15 minutes when we were all pretty much done eating, and he wasn't especially happy about it. We wrap up and he decides to go up and order another cup of decaf for the road, only to be told that they had already dumped out the first pot they made him. The resulting grandpa rage has entered our family law in a big way. Understand the rage, but also understand that clearly they don't sell nearly enough. Should just take it off the menu though. Geez. That is actually terrible. I waitressed all through college and had to warn all the other servers not to do that. My dad had a massive heart attack and could not have caffeine. You could be killing someone. I wish servers would stop using laziness as an excuse to literally kill someone. I used to work at a Starbucks and can confirm that people didn't take caffeine seriously. A lot of, oh shit, she wanted decaf. Whoops, or, oh, I accidentally added an extra shot to their drink, oh well. As someone who is sensitive to caffeine, none of these situations are chill. I never order decaf in any restaurant. I don't trust it at all. People who are actually caffeine sensitive do the same. My sister is like this. I made her decaf once and she was so excited because she can't order it out. Full caf will literally kill her, so that's cool. What the fuck? Isn't that completely unsafe for people who have adverse reactions to caffeine? Yes, it is.